If you're searching for a wrestling podcast that's filled with fun.
This is definitely Davey Boy Smith's finest fucking moment.
He goes, he fell on his ass. He fell on his ass.
Couple of haters.
Couple haters.
That's hated.
Wrestling nostalgia.
I will take you back to May 26th, 1996. It was a stormy night. The wind was howling.
Latest pro wrestling news and rumours.
We've heard about the situations between WWE, Sasha Banks and Naomi.
And hilarious tangents.
Let's not tangent off. No Samoan spikes.
That's it.
Fucking tangents.
Then look no further. Join your hosts James, Stu and Johnny and subscribe to Top Turnbuckle Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Top Turnbuckle Podcast with me, Stu.
I'm Johnny Frosty Bollocks.
And I'm James. It's a bit different for you, Johnny. You weren't on the last one.
No,
No.
It's nice to all be back together
It
again.
is. Oh, stop. Oh. Yes.
I want you back for good.
And this one is actually our Christmas episode.
Allegedly.
Can we call it Christmas episode?
Christmas/Valentine's Day episode.
Yes.
Yeah. James called it right on the last one.
I still do have all my Christmas puns here and there.
That's up to
I
you,
will
I
throw
know.
in. But yeah, Top Turnbuckle Podcast. We'll be ringing those jingle bells in February.
Why not?
Bringing that Santa banter. Delivering Christmas chuckles as we all go a little candy cane crazy in February. How are we?
Alright.
All punned out.
That's only the beginning.
Yeah, still a little bit in shock from the Secret Santa presents that we've just done as well.
Yeah,
Go
Stu
it.
got a rock dildo.
Yeah, there's no it's going to sound even worse. There's no beating around the bush with it, is there?
No.
But yeah, I got a dildo from Johnny that basically has the Rock's face on it.
Dwayne the Cock Johnson.
And some absolutely banging figures from James.
And I'm sure as well that I need to start that game. So I'm laughing.
He
at
now
this.
looks like he's having a ferocious shit.
That's what made me laugh. We'll leave that in. I was just playing with the action figure. I'm sorry,
That's fine.
everybody. Yeah, but on the rock dildo, he certainly has made himself look like a dildo recently.
Yes, and I'm sure we will cover more of that later.
Yep.
Indeed, yes. We will dig straight in.
Sorry, I had to get that out of my system.
But today, we're going to be covering the top 3 worst gimmicks of all time.
Yes. Indeed we are.
Indeed we are, yes. As well as all of our Top Turnbuckle trivia.
Yep.
With our new championship belts.
Yeah, fucking robbed out of that one, didn't I? Yeah, I'll let you fuckers explain that later.
And all of our other exciting topics along the way.
Well, there is a slight change though, isn't there? So for part 2, we will actually be doing the trivia, and we're going back to a news segment because there's been a lot of stuff happening as of lately, and we absolutely feel like we need to talk about this.
Yeah, so it's our responsibility. If we
Yeah.
put stuff, if we're talking about wrestling, we can't.
Yeah, we've got
leave this out.
Yeah. Can you stop making my Goldberg? Sorry, not Goldberg. Like he's
What was his name? Bruce Anderson.
Yeah,
Bruce the Butcher Anderson.
yeah.
He's a very angry
looks
man.
like he is having the angriest dump ever.
I got a bootleg cane. I think his name was Philip.
It's fucking Phil, that is.
Derek Smith.
Andre Agassi.
He's a fucking tennis player, you tit.
Tennis player.
He's got the same amount of hair, so...
Yeah. Right, okay.
Well then,
Shall
ladies
we-
and gents.
Shall we dive in?
Yeah, I think we should get
Yes.
straight on with the topic.
Balls
Right.
deep.
So, worst gimmicks of all time. Now, shall I go first, seeing it was my pick?
Crack
Yeah.
on, mate.
Okay. So, my first pick is a double banger. It's 2 gimmicks by 2 different tag teams. So, I've kind of cheated here already.
That's
Okay.
fucking... Whoa. What's why are we... What? What? Why are we cheating?
Oh, because I couldn't decide which one was worse. They were both out at the same
You've got
time.
3 to choose from.
know,
How have you got 4 picks and we've got 3?
I've got an honourable mention as well, which is a fantastic
Fuck
pick.
your honourable mention.
There can be multiple, can't there? There's fucking loads.
Alright, I want my multiple points back from the quiz carried on to the next one. Fucking wankers.
It's a double banger, 2 picks, but it'll be over within seconds.
Better be good now.
So you've got 2 different tag teams. And I couldn't decide which one was worse, so I combined them both together.
Cheat.
You have the Dicks and the Johnsons.
Why can't I remember this?
I don't either.
I just
You'd think you'd remember
from my mind.
You'd think you'd remember a 2 tag teams.
Big Dick Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
what was the other one that you kept
Dick.
bringing up? Dirty
Dick. Dirty Dick. Right?
Yeah, that's it. Dirty Dick. Something like
Dirty
that.
Dick Slater.
That's
it. Yeah. So the Dicks were a short-lived tag team from the WWE in 2005, simply known as James and Chad Dick. The Dicks were a pair of Chippendale dancers. The Dicks would spray their clear liquid all over themselves, and before getting the win, the Dicks would shoot out their oily goodness into their opponent's eyes before getting victories over such teams as the Mexicals and Animal and Heidenrich.
So they'd lube themselves up.
Yes, pretty much.
The Dicks would lube themselves up.
They would lube themselves up. They lasted 5 months. But over
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember these at all.
No, I must have blanked out my memory.
But at the same time, over in TNA, you had the Johnsons, a wrestling pair of dongs, Dick and Rod Johnson. They came to the ring covered in beige latex bodysuits, making them look like walking penises.
I kind of remember them.
I don't remember them either.
I do.
They were what they were. They were a couple of dicks. That's
well, there were 4 actually. Couple of dicks.
Couple of dicks. Yeah. Dicks and Johnsons and members. Rick Rude's member. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
There you go. Do you remember these teams? You remember the Johnsons?
I kind of do in TNA.
Yeah.
I can't remember the Dicks.
I don't think many people do.
No. Do we go next? Can you stop fucking around with my not Goldberg?
This is awesome.
Who's next? You're next. Eggnog
Eddie. Mine's nowhere near as funny as that. Mine's actually a little bit on the. I say a little bit. It's flat out racist. It was Jim Neidhart's Ku Klux Klan gimmick against Virgil.
Yeah,
Anvil.
That's fucked up. You've only got to say the words KKK, and everyone just kind of goes, oh, because they're flat out racist. Basically, Jim Neidhart was cast as a character called the Thug, and reveals himself to be a henchman whilst wearing pointed white sheet, and gives an absolute beatdown to what was known as Virgil, who we all know was the kind of manservant to the $1 Million Man, which isn't racist at all either.
And we also found out what his fingers smell like tonight.
We do, yes.
Live chat.
Success.
His arsehole.
Yeah.
1 million women.
I mean, it's fuck's sake, shut up. It is a flat out like Klan beatdown, and they ended up hanging him.
Oh,
tying a rope round his neck and tossing him over the, chucking him over the top rope and hanging him. Makes matters worse, when Neidhart was interviewed afterwards, said, oh, look at what I did to Virgil. I hear he's still hanging around. And not only is it flat out racist to have somebody dressed up as a Ku Klux Klan member to essentially lynch him and then make a racial joke about hanging him.
Oh dear.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sorry. What the hell were they, what was anyone thinking that, listen up lads, I've got this great idea, right? We're not going to get into trouble at all.
Let's go.
Fucking hell. Sorry. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. That is a bad one.
It's bad. It's fucking horrendous. I'm done.
Yep, that was a good one.
That moves on to me, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Tintle Toes.
So it's my go. My one comes from I don't know about you guys, but a lot of bad stuff seems to happen around 2004 to 2006. I don't know why, but there's some really bad ideas.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this is, and I don't know if anyone's got. It's like the Kerwin White era.
I was going to pick him,
and all this sort of thing, and the Heidenrich, and all of these sort of weird sort of characters. This one is so bad that this one doesn't even make it to WWE. It doesn't even make it to TV. They do a vignette and they immediately realise, oh fuck, we shouldn't have done this. And the wrestler appears on WWE, but under his real gimmick that he had before.
Right.
So it's Kenzo Suzuki in 2004, right? They were going to, and if you're listening to this, everyone out there, this is not a joke, you can find this. The Emperor of Japan during during World War II was Hirohito, right?
Yeah.
Emperor Hirohito.
Yeah.
They were going to bring Kenzo Suzuki in as the the grandson of Hirohito, which was going to be his name, and he was going to seek revenge for America dropping the atomic bomb on WWE. And the vignette...
What could possibly be the repercussions of a character like that?
And the vignette is all showing Enola Gay going across. That's the plane that drops the atomic bomb. It shows the devastation of the country. It shows every bad bit about that situation, which everyone now regrets. Yeah. And it just hashes it all up, or attempts to, on something as simple as wrestling. Like, you are going to get... That would be like saying, right, we're going to bring in the grandson of Hitler, and he's going to come after every single
Jewish wrestler.
Yeah. And this has happened.
Oh.
So my other pick was that Heidenreich was originally going to be a German cyborg from World War II.
What?
I heard this. I did this.
No way.
And they were so not had their finger on the pulse that they were going to have the Jewish Paul Heyman as his manager.
No.
Yep. Absolutely true.
Jesus Christ.
That was an idea pitched for Heidenreich.
I remember reading about that.
Christ, man.
There was a cryogenic cyborg come back.
Wow.
You know, like an experiment.
Yeah.
From Nazi-like experimentation.
Jesus Christ.
This was probably what they saw as a safer option.
What?
Yeah, this is how fucking off the pulse.
That is insane.
They were. You know, it's unbelievable. If you actually think about that. And it probably doesn't sound bad to anyone listening. Watch the vignette. The vignette is so bad. It's all World War II footage.
Send me a link for that, please.
Yeah. And it's got like the narrator, you know, the movie narrator?
Yeah.
He's basically going, he's coming back for revenge.
That dropped the bomb.
Yeah. Like that. Like, basically, this guy's coming back to avenge the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Absolutely messed up. Sorry. That really is.
And it's the grandson of the Emperor of Japan who signed the, who signed the declaration that they were gonna. What's the word? When you say you're gonna lose, I can't think of it, and I'm a historian.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
White flag.
Yeah, basically sign the white
Surrender.
flag. Yeah, the surrender.
Jeez.
There
we go.
So that's my first one.
Basically, do a France.
Yeah.
Sorry to any French listeners out there. I am kidding.
Right, back to me.
Back to you with another 4 picks.
Meat. Oh, I love meat. In this case, not very much. Shawn Stasiak, son of former WWF World Champion Stan the Man, the tough guy that ended the 3-year reign of Pedro Morales. But I'm not talking about old Daddy Meat Man here. I'm talking about his son, the sex slave of PMS, Pretty Mean Sisters. Jacqueline, Terry, and I think it was Tori.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was after, and this is even worse, it was once Tori gained freedom after the abortion.
Yes.
Do you not know about
Yeah,
that?
I don't remember this.
So she was pregnant and someone knocked her off the ropes.
Oh, it was Terry, wasn't it?
Yeah,
With
Terry Reynolds.
I don't remember
And,
that at all.
It was like it was like there was something happened, a miscarriage.
Yeah,
Sorry,
right.
this is the right word, a miscarriage.
And they went with that as a
Yeah, they
story.
did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And when Terry come back, she come back more or less as like a independent woman, like along with Jacqueline
and Tori.
and it was known as PMS.
Pretty Mean Sisters. So,
What? Sorry.
it's terrible.
That's...
So the Meat Machine, he didn't really win many matches because he'd wear himself out prior to giving his lady friends unlimited love before his matches.
Is there a limit to love?
I don't know.
There's a question for everyone out there in listener land. Is there truly a limit for love?
Get back to us. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. What's the right amount of love?
So usually during a match, old Meat would be known to get a boner.
Oh, meat. What?
Yes.
He'd what?
Get
Yeah.
a boner.
You kidding me?
One time, Boss Man was slapping Beat Meat around before grabbing his nightstick and smacking him in his erection.
This
Is this serious?
Yeah. Now, being a second generation star and son of a former world champion, you'd think you'd kind of get a bit of a better gimmick. But, it didn't really happen. Meat would then go on to get caught audio recording other wrestlers and get fired shortly after. And then went to WCW, I think, as Shawn Stasiak, and then I think he returned back as member of the Alliance.
He returned back as kind of another joke character. He would keep running after The Rock, and The Rock would keep throwing him over the ropes.
Or he'd run into things and stuff. Yeah. If you want to go check out any of his matches, you can check out the one where he's got an erection with the Big Boss Man. Kurt Angle has his debut match against him.
He does.
The Survivor Series. And there's a match with Brock Lesnar as well, which he gets destroyed in. But
Brock Lesnar's one of his first feuds.
It
I
is.
believe that they were tag team partners as
were.
well.
Yeah. So there you go. Meat and Brock.
But that's Shawn Stasiak, not me.
Yes. So there we go.
Wow.
Old Meat.
Yeah, from meat to religion,
Oh.
because they go hand in hand.
Old figgy pudding over here.
Mike Shaw, more famously known as Bastion Booger. Before he was Bastion Booger, he was Friar Ferguson. Quite possibly the shittest gimmick I personally have ever seen. I think he only had one match, was it?
It was on Raw, wasn't it?
I think so.
No, I think it was an enhancement talent match, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking, it was
Did he have a
terrible.
bell with him when he came
Yeah.
to the ring or something?
Yeah.
Or...
It was so crap. It was actually put into a book that was written by R.D. Reynolds and Randy Bear, entitled Wrestle Crap, the very worst of pro wrestling. And in the book it states that the gimmick was dropped due to an outcry from the Catholic Church of New York.
Oh, I think I heard about that.
And straight after this complaint, he was obviously repackaged and given the incredibly odd gimmick of Bastion Booger, and pretty much stayed in that character.
Was
as
Bastion Booger before or after?
After Friar Ferguson.
Was he?
Yes.
That's Norman the Lunatic, isn't it?
I was just thinking WCW, weren't he? Norman the Lunatic. Yeah. Then he went to 93. He was Bastion Booger.
Yeah.
I think it was Friar Ferguson was before. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
And pretty much just served as a prominent jobber from there on, really, didn't he? But yeah, it's crap, really. I haven't got a lot else to say about it. It really is shit.
The best way to think of it in a British context is he was basically Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was made
That's
out to
what he
be like,
was.
to look at as like a British/European monk.
Yeah, like Friar Friar
Yeah.
I mean,
it's terrible. Like, not even a funny terrible. It is just absolutely fucking horrendous. I have nothing else to say on it other than it's bollocks. Next,
back to the old North Pole Ninja.
yeah, I'm gonna go with another controversial one. This person actually has a monarchical success, but it was never ever going to work, and it was always going to end in tears. That's Mohammad Hassan.
yeah.
There was no way in the climate of the periods when they did the character. I think they did it around early 2000. Late 2004, 2005.
Was it that late? I thought it was earlier than that.
No, it was post.
It was 2000 and he may have started vignettes in late 2004, 2005 certainly, because he was at WrestleMania 21 with Hogan.
Yeah.
And you had the 7-7 bombings, which was what happens when they decided to do a really extreme angle. And unfortunately, that extreme angle was aired, I believe, on the night in Britain that it happened.
Yeah.
And
you got to remember, I mean, also this is post 9/11, pre 7/7.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like you said, 7/7 happened, and no.
The thing is, it was never going to work. They tried to make a monster heel, but they were using the faith, and they started off quite strangely with it. They did it kind of, I don't know if you remember the vignettes, but they did it similar to how he actually was like a face. Like, I'm a Muslim man, and I have to go to all these places and be treated awfully. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Please give me a chance. I'm going to come in and show that I'm a true American.
Yeah.
And then they very quickly, when he debuted, turned him full, almost Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
Without them trying to say it.
They made him portray basically an extremist character.
Yeah, they also like.
It was such a dick move.
Yeah, they also had like his Titantron, or was just what you would imagine propaganda to be.
Yeah.
Like Al Qaeda
absolutely.
propaganda, and I believe, I know that they've killed certain people off before, but mainly for silly reasons. Like the only one I can remember is Al Wilson.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember, and someone will pad me up on it. They must have done it before in another promotion, but they had to kill him off. I mean, it was no fault of the individual who portrayed him. I can't remember his name sitting here because I don't write notes. He come from OVW, I believe.
He wasn't even that bad of a wrestler.
He was
good.
Yeah.
But
he was good.
He was Italian.
Yeah.
And he was given this role, this opportunity by some cunt who will name... Well, you guys can name. I'm not even saying his name.
No, fuck him.
And he was given this gimmick, and it was always going to end in tears. It ruined his career.
He never had anything after it.
No.
Did
He couldn't.
No, because he was dealt such a shit hand, such a dick move with creative.
I don't know where he went after.
He went back to OVW in an attempt to repackage him, and it never worked. They just couldn't do anything with him.
Such an arsehole move, man. It really
But
is.
yeah, the guy who played it, I believe he was a Canadian Italian.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And just bullshit.
It's a dick move, man.
It was only ever going to end in tears in that social climate.
Yeah.
This wasn't 1991. This was not Sergeant Slaughter era anymore. This was an era where you couldn't do that sort of thing.
This is smack bang in between two of the world's worst organised terrorist acts.
Yeah, and then you've got someone portraying it on TV.
And then creative have obviously thought this would be a great idea if we cash in on this. Sorry, no, that is just fucking disgraceful.
I mean, that night, that particular thing with The Undertaker, that left nothing to the imagination. He did a sort of
It was full on.
It was like an Arabic chant.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it.
They were all dressed in black.
And they were all dressed in black with ski masks, and they come in and they basically choked the Undertaker with cheese wire.
Yeah. And then carried him out like a sacrifice.
And it come across as a religious ceremony, an Al Qaeda attack.
Yeah.
That's what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, it's what they were making it look like.
Yeah, and it was just
distasteful.
I might have to go back and I know it's really bad, but I might have to go back and just see the reaction from the fans and everything in the crowd, like just see what it was like at that time. I can't remember. I remember it all happening.
Shite.
But yeah,
just absolute shite. Sorry.
Right, back to me then.
Yeah.
Right, my final pick. What happens when you have two wrestlers having a really great, brutal feud down in OVW, and their feud and story hadn't even finished, but WWE calls them both up and makes them a tag team?
What?
I'm talking about two brothers that like to bash.
the Basham.
Doug and Danny Basham.
Jim Cornette, I just want to talk about this. You probably got it in your notes. Jim Cornette absolutely loved Doug and Danny Basham. Especially one of them. One of them specifically had long blonde hair and was a proper face. And this guy, this is okay. Yeah, because again, this is going to mention someone who I don't want to mention. I'm sorry.
So, Doug and Danny Basham, and WWE randomly decided one day they needed a new tag team. So they called them both up and made them brothers. And while this was happening, Jim Cornette down in OVW had to try and come up with a new ending for the match, for the story and everything. So, he managed to sort something out. Eventually they arrive on SmackDown and are joined by Shaniqua. And she was a winner of Tough Enough, I think, or she was a contestant.
She was a
in Tough Enough.
dominatrix.
Yes. Yeah, she was a full-on dominatrix.
With a whip on it.
Yes. She'd make them her sexual playthings, really. And soon enough, Doug and Danny would start wearing these leather masks to the ring. They looked like a kinky version of Demolition. They'd have handcuffs on their attire, they'd be whipped on the arse before their match, and they would even wear ball gags. It was a full-on S&M gimmick. Don't get me wrong, I don't have an issue with any of that, but the last thing I want to see on my wrestling every week is men being whipped and beaten, even though I'm watching half-naked men beating each other up anyway.
I have an issue with it right now. I have an issue.
But it was very wrong.
Knowing what we're going to talk about later, I have a big issue with it now. Because the issue, the individual, and I will tell you this now because I don't want to keep using these people's names. I'm dead serious how pissed off I am. Is John Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
John Laurinaitis was the person who shaved Doug and Danny Basham's hair. That is where the thank you, fuck you, bye comes from Jim Cornette, what you're talking about. What Jim Cornette had to do was try and explain why his mega face come in looking like a lorry driver. Because they'd shaved his hair and he looked totally different.
Yeah.
Down in OVW, wasn't it?
Yeah. But they did go on. They won the tag titles twice. They joined JBL's cabinet at one point. They were Paul Heyman's security in ECW. They went to TNA. And then after all of this stuff, they actually went back to their single characters they had in OVW, but wrestled mainly on Velocity and Sunday Night Heat. It was just a total waste. They never had to go through this whole gimmick. It was just terrible.
Yeah, apparently they were OVW's main event stars.
Yeah. They were having great matches down there.
And you're talking about a period where you had down there John Cena, Randy Orton,
Brock Lesnar, all of them were down there. Shelton Benjamin, a lot of them. And they were there as well. Yes. So there you go. Who's next?
It's my last one.
Old stocking stuffer.
I
can't help it. I'm sorry.
I feel quite dirty that I've picked this because it's just
dirty.
It's not even in a good way.
No.
It's just. I mean, the KKK thing with Jim Neidhart was bad, right? So the next one, then not as I always do. I do mine in order. This is my number one pick, and it's the Gestapo match from Glow, otherwise known as Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
I'm shocked by this.
I'd never seen this.
I'm shocked by this because Glow was always seen as like quite a light-hearted.
Yeah.
It would always start with that silly dance with the guy on the microphone who hosted it. Do you remember?
Davey McLean?
I can't remember his name, but they'd do like a song and they'd all sing at the start. Like it's like a rap.
I showed you a few clips of it before we recorded.
Yeah, it's shocking.
So the two women in this match are Matilda the Hun, who had portrayed quite an evil German heel as it was, and Mountain Fuji was going in as the face of essentially what was Team America. Fuck yeah! So Matilda the Hun came in with her two valets, and they were fully into this role. They had got dressed up in SS uniforms, came out with swastika flags, doing, the walk with the Nazi salute. They had gone full hog into this. And the match was... It was sloppy. And I'm sorry for anyone who really, really does like Glow. I mean, don't get me wrong, from light-hearted, family stuff, it is good. And I can dig that. But this was just horrible to watch. There are certain moments in the match that I showed James earlier where Matilda the Hun beat Mountain Fuji over the head and in the face, whilst whipping her with a chain.
Yeah, I'm really shocked. I mean, I watched quite a bit of Glow and I never saw any of this. You have things like Little Egypt and things like that, and all these type of people, and they were like, it was really just seen as a bit of fun. It was more pantomime than Big Daddy and World of Sport. It was so... Yeah. It would have little skits in the middle of it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. These two had quite legendary feuds anyway, constantly. But the fact that the writers obviously thought that to inject a bit of oomph into this feud by adding racism again, I can't. I just don't understand. I'm sorry, I really don't. And I know it's probably meant to be light-hearted, but at what point can you can't class light-hearted as fun.
No.
You can't class racism and Nazi regime into entertainment. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry.
This is the interesting thing, because like the two gimmicks that I've picked so far are on the basis of real bad decisions due to you could call it race, you could call it just really bad. What's the words? Where you do something from the past which is wrong.
Regret.
Yeah, just opening old wounds on things.
Yeah.
Really bad taste.
Yeah.
In that sense. And it's better. The reason I say that is a lot of people look at things like, and I'm sure these will come up from other guys, even you guys, like things like Arachnaman and like Mantar. These are the usual ones. Phantasma.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what you class as being a really bad gimmick. I class it as something that's really abhorrent and absurd. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
what you've just done with the Ku Klux Klan. It's just bad taste.
I can't understand how anyone could write this down as an idea and a group of people go, do you know what? Yeah, that's a fucking good idea.
Yeah, it's just unreal.
Let's dress up a well-known wrestler and make him a member of the Ku Klux Klan.
It's like never going to work, is it? Like, who goes...
Were you expecting the belt to be put round someone doing that? Come on.
But in the 80s, I could see, like, to a certain extent you could do... Because it was the Iron Curtain and no one had really been hurt or anything, you could do... Similar to a Rocky IV Dolph Lundgren. Like, you could have your Ivan Koloffs and people like that. You know, because America and Russia really were, you know, not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
You know, or the USSR at the time. And you could sort of see that was sort of, it was kind of acceptable in like that period, in the 80s and things like that, you know. But some of these were done in like 2004.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, 2005.
It's just wrong.
Yeah. Because you think about it, I mean, even with some of these, like, you know, two of the previous ones I picked, obviously the Gestapo one and the KKK one, it ain't that long ago.
No.
We're not talking 50, 60 years back. It weren't that.
No, I mean, it's 1986 for that, and that's bad. Like,
fuck yeah.
You know, I think you would need to post a link somewhere to show how bad it is.
I intend to post a link on that.
Yeah, it really is bad.
And in no way, shape or form am I trying to promote this sort of thing.
No.
But it is so bad. It does need to be seen because of how disgusting and distasteful it is.
I was shocked that was Glow when you showed it.
So was I.
I was like, fucking hell.
So is that all of our picks?
James has got one.
I've got one more. Now, this is... I never do mine in order, but this one, on a business standpoint, for me, has got to be one of the worst. And unfortunately, it's someone who has got a little bit of a cult following, actually.
Yes,
Right.
He has, but it's Glacier. Right? Now, if Glacier would have come out as a character... in the early 90s, like say 1992, when Mortal Kombat was massive, this would have probably been huge. The problem was that this come out, I think the idea was to bring him out around about 1995, and what happened was it kept getting delayed. Do you remember all the vignettes on Nitro? And they kept going on for about a year. And it kept saying, what was it, Blood Runs Cold?
It was,
or something like that. And the problem was when they finally brought Glacier in, who was full on a rip-off really of Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat had lost a lot of its popularity, and also wrestling had turned into a more realistic product. We started to have the NWO. You know, and later the Attitude Era. And unfortunately, WCW, the timing was so bad for Glacier. If they would have pulled the trigger earlier, this might have worked. What they did was they had a little niche, which I quite enjoyed, with, what was it, Wrath and Mortis.
That's right, Adam Bomb and Canyon.
With Glacier. The issue why I would say absolutely he's one of the worst is the money. They put a fortune into this character.
I'm literally just watching it because I can't remember it.
So the entrance, I think Johnny can get the figures for me. I heard that the entrance every time they used it was 35,000.
Yes. And then it was...
And the clothing was about 35,000 as well.
Fuck.
Was it 500,000?
500,000 they spent on the entrance.
Yes.
Because the entrance, in the time he was there, because when he first debuted, they had snow falling.
That's
They had all of this lighting effect. And they did it like full on Mortal Kombat. They tried to make it look like they had turned this studio into sort of the Arctic.
Yeah, Sub-Zero's arena.
Yeah, Sub-Zero's arena.
Yeah. Production costs for the entrance amounted to nearly $500,000.
Jesus.
The costume and the armour cost $35,000.
Yep.
Which shocks me because I'm looking at it now and it looks fucking dreadful.
It was done. It was done by like a film company.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why it cost so much money, and they actually got special effects people in to do the entrance.
Wow.
They really wanted to go, and what they wanted to do, which is the biggest fuck up, is they wanted to compete with kinds of like Mortal Kombat and make games figures. And make this whole thing about Glacier, you know, being like a hero from another realm.
Yeah.
And do you know how many figures they brung out of Glacier?
No, I don't remember any.
They brung out one.
Really?
A race car.
I'm just
with
reading
Glacier's face on.
Wow.
Yeah, remember what Glacier was, and the only figure they brought out. This was what they planned to do with it.
Right.
They planned to make a whole series, like Mortal Kombat and all of him as a superhero. That was the Bischoff's plan.
Okay.
Right? And to go into like the figures industry with Glacier against his enemies and all of this. And they brought out one figure for him, and it was a fucking race car.
Jesus.
I'm just reading it. It says about he was given his helmet. It was said to be centuries old. Something that was given to him by his sensei as a symbol of the of Masters of the Elements. But he has got kind of like a cult following now.
He's got a cult following, but the problem is that actually if they'd have pulled the trigger, and because they had real big plans for this guy, if they'd have pulled the trigger, they might have been able to pull this off.
Yeah.
The reason it was so bad is they put so much money into this, but they just left it on the back burner. They still paid the money. And what a waste.
Do you know, it took almost a whole year for someone to defeat him in a singles match.
Yeah, he was undefeated.
Yeah.
For absolutely ages, but no one cared. Nobody give a fuck. I think the first person to defeat him might have been Bill Goldberg. Is that right?
Wow.
Yes, he actually challenged
actually
Goldberg
injured
to a
him.
match. Yeah.
And he injured Glacier.
Shit.
Glacier got injured off of, I think it was the spear, and then got jackhammered while injured.
He actually sold
his stuff to Ricky Chosu's guy.
Yeah, and the cat as well bought some of it.
Yeah. And then they realised it was shit. It was a silly angle in about 1998.
It's funny, he was actually on the first AEW pay-per-view, All In. He was in the Battle Royal as a special surprise.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I think the Kiss Demon was too.
Wow.
Which was another fuck up, which was very close. Gene Simmons fucks WCW rawly.
Gene Simmons fucks himself over royally. The guy's an absolute tool. I'm sorry.
Well, I've got an honourable mention. I can quickly run through.
I ain't got shit. There is no honourable mentions in this.
It's a terrible gimmick. Well, it's a terrible character, but it's amazing as well at the same time. So Barry Darso, former Demolition Smash, Repo Man,
God.
Blacktop Bully, a man of many gimmicks, but the one that stands out to me the most is Mr. Hole-in-One, the world's greatest heel golfer.
Right, and I can speak about this as well. Is this to do with Payne Stewart?
Don't know.
You don't know the story
I'm not
of
sure.
this,
Was he a golfer?
The golfer who died in the airplane crash who he's designed after.
I did hear something about that, yeah.
That's what fucked the gimmick. The gimmick was terrible anyway, but it come across as crass as awful because Payne Stewart used to dress as an old school golfer. And he took that look, and Payne Stewart died in an airplane crash.
That's right, yeah.
And Barry Darso was coming out dressed like him.
Yeah. He'd actually he would come to the ring, and he actually was hoping this gimmick would get over so much that he would actually be able to play in the Pro Arms tournament.
Jesus.
So Barry would come to the ring, and before looking up, he would roll out this portable putting green, tell everyone to be quiet. He'd even hold a sign up saying "Be quiet," give his opponent a chance, and then attack him. But this is the bit I really love about this gimmick, because after 6 months of this gimmick, it was no more. He was simply just plain Barry Darso again.
It's over what I just said.
And then the story, I bet it gets more interesting. The following week, he comes out as the Blacktop Bully. Then he comes out again as Barry Darso. Then he has his USSR jacket on, and he'd gone back to being Crusher Khrushchev from the NWA days. He had lost his memory. He got amnesia. Is it amnesia? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah. His head so bad he lost his memory completely.
Jesus.
And he just couldn't remember who he was anymore. And he just kept changing his gimmick every single week.
Fucking hell.
Until WCW went out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, James has just put up the brief description of Stewart Pain.
That was the original
Pain
idea,
Stewart,
to call
sorry.
him that and dress him as Pain Stewart, but then Pain Stewart died in a plane crash.
Fucking horrendous, isn't it? I think we can quite honestly say that we have picked some fucking terrible gimmicks.
Yes, we have. I think we have indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did we have any picks from our listeners? So, next up, have we got any listener requests you'd like us to read out?
Listener feedback.
Feedback, that's the
listener
word
feedback,
I was looking for.
I think was the
Yes,
cue
that's
you were
the
looking
one I
for.
was after.
Yeah, we had some quite good ones actually. Our first one is from Love Davis Mary, and she sent us a load of rose emojis.
Oh, she's a bot.
I know, but I thought that was still nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, she probably sent us a fucking porno afterwards.
Probably. So our first actual proper response comes from Jason Shepherd. He's picked the Ding Dongs,
Yeah.
the Renegade,
Yeah, that's got a horrible story behind it.
and the Yeti. Brackets, Yetis aren't mummies. Next is Jim Sangwell. He has picked Mantar, Shockmaster, everything John Tentner after Earthquake. I hated the Spirit Squad as they had no individual personalities but some decent talent in there.
They were awful.
Beaver Cleavage
I almost went for him.
and post NXT Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Interesting topic to follow could be the ones that shouldn't have worked but got massively over.
I think we kind of did that in a little way, didn't we?
Did we?
We did underrated.
Yeah.
We did
And he's also added to his comment of putting, Giant Gonzalez in a furry suit.
Yeah, I agree with all of them. Who was that? Was that
That's Jim, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of them. So I wanted to go a little bit more out of the box, Jim, on this one because a lot of them are really known, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like your common Gonzalez,
Yeah.
Mentor,
Next we've got John O'Butler, Mr. America, Repo Man, Blue Blazer, and reading what others have put, Beaver Cleavage was a total joke.
Yeah, that was incest.
Yeah.
Chaz, because then later on, after he dropped that, after 1 week, his girlfriend then started getting a black eye. And we've
talked about that. We've covered that.
We're not going over that.
It's similar to some of the ones
Yeah.
that people have mentioned. Like people have mentioned the Shockmaster. We've covered that.
Yeah. Then he went and became like Indian or something with D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, with Tiger Ali Singh.
Yeah,
Lowdown.
that's right. I quite like them.
Lowdown were. They were like a mismatch, and then they come out with Tiger Ali Singh, and they were in Indian cultural attire.
Yeah, I always remember they were never allowed in the building on some like pay-per-views and
It
stuff
was
like
supposed to be that they were not given equal opportunity.
That's right, yeah.
Our next one is quite possibly going to be my absolute favourite. Comes from Kevin Coote.
Okay.
And he simply put...
Yeah.
Once heard of this English guy saying he was Jamaican, something reggae. Don't know if anyone else has heard of it.
Ask Johnny.
Johnny, know of anyone like that?
Sounds a bit racist to me. White Jamaican.
No?
No, it doesn't
no.
ring any bells, no.
No?
Carry on.
Rob Shepherd. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Gillian Hall have a prosthetic growth on her face that they suggested might be a conjoined twin? And then the boogeyman bit it off, and then she became a really shit singer. So I'm going to vote for that.
Yeah, I don't know what they said if it was a conjoined twin, but they said it was a cancerous growth.
Yeah.
And he bit it off.
Rob has also
replied. The feud with JBL, wasn't it?
Yeah. Rob has also replied to Kevin Coop by saying, "Surely not Johnny Reggae."
Maybe.
No, I don't know. I think that. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, some brilliant interaction with that one. Thanks for getting involved, guys.
Yes.
Most appreciated.
I saw some really fantastic ones when I was doing like a sort of deep dive into this, but a lot of them were silly. I wanted ones which were actually bad taste. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think we've
like
covered that.
Hector Guerrero had some terrible ones. He had one what was like, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I think it was like Lasertron.
Yes, yeah.
Have you seen that? And it's like they brought it back in like '97. They brought him back as for like a one-off against, I think it was either Eddie Guerrero or
something like that.
And what it was is he was a laser tag person. You know the laser tag game.
Yeah.
He was a superhero from that.
Fucking hell.
Because it was a big game at the time.
That's right. Yeah.
In the 80s. Jim Neidhart.
Who?
There
we go, yeah.
Woo!
So, that was our top threes. We have... What's next? Our song? Would you like a song?
Let's have a sing-song.
Shall we have a sing-song?
It's been a while since we've heard Johnnyokee, and then I think after that we are going to...
we will have our trivia to do, and we will have our...
It'll be part two, basically.
Part two's just going to not be too funny, unfortunately.
No.
Although we'll have a song to finish it off.
If you're looking for light-hearted banter...
What is the song?
The second song is Men on a Mission's The Rumble Is Coming. To tie in with the Rumble 94. But we'll see how we go.
Yes.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time, once again, for Johnnyokee.
Now, this song, I wrote this song myself, and I'm a little bit annoyed because I forgot to bring my keyboard. Okay, because I was going to have a little beat behind it.
Sorry.
This isn't heavy metal again.
No, this is
because we were really not expecting that one. that kind of that took us by a storm a little bit.
This is a full-on rap.
I'm surprised you can remember that, Stu. You was pissed as fuck.
I remember it because I remember kind of going like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
We should actually say about that episode has actually been scrapped.
Oh,
on
it got
YouTube. We can you can see it on Spotify.
Right, so we are doing Santa's Secret. It's a rap song that I have made, pretty much discussing our Secret Santa from last year, or the year before, I should say now.
Yeah.
Right, are you ready?
I am ready.
What I'm about to do right now is kick it old school. I'm MC Large Meat. This is Jazzy, Ain't Playing Games James. And coming up the back, ripping arse and spitting bars, Sexual Stew.
What the fuck?
So let me tell you the story. I'm not Adam Cole and you're not Terry Gordy. Christmas time, chill in the air. Not Santa Claus would soon be here. Not Mabel and Mo, the mission was simple. No need to dwindle, Howard Finkel. Go buy something sentimental, not judgmental. Mental Avengers Assemble. Secret Santa, Kung Fu Panda, Hulk Hogan, Suburban Commando. The boys from TTP had a job. Go on out and buy something crud. Something crud isn't something good. Something that just never should. Find the worst piece of wrestling trash. Tearing quads like Kevin Nash. Bing bang dash, stinger splash. Rick Rude's member, here to dismember. So Stu has a gift for Johnny. Surely this is going to be funny. Mr. DDT, Jake the Snake. A pixelated shirt for heaven's sake.
Oh yeah.
Not too bad and not too shabby. Just don't call me Sister Abby. Johnny's gift back to Stu. Hulkster boots, bright and yellow. There you go, you handsome fellow. James gift back to Johnny, a t-shirt with the Bella twins. Johnny sure is getting the wins. Twin magic, this is tragic. Dim the lights, I'm being dramatic. Erratic, manic, ecstatic. These rhymes are all organic. Johnny's gift back to James, a cup of haters shirt is all the range. Enzo and Big Cass are back in class, doing math, Mr. Ass, representing the mean streets, former hardcore champ Pete Gas. Goldberg, that can only mean, James, you're next and you get your specs knocked off clean. Stu produces a wobble.
Enough times in pro.
Stu produces a wobble head knocker. Tag team specialist, the Rockers. That's not them, but I don't boast. Hitting rhymes harder than Goldberg versus the ring post. In response, James hulks up, busting out a shirt and bandana, putting an end to Colonel Mustafa. Stu is left with the whole set. Stu-a-mania, go tell your mother. It's time for the main event, I declare. Now just call me Rick Flair. So here's the story of the Pants of Bel Air. Johnny searched high and Johnny searched low, scanning the internet wherever he goes. Until one day what would appear, the crown jewel of all bad merch coming up the rear. A tear grazed his handsome face, as he had nearly given up the chase, nearly passed upon the race. The present that I did present came from, I guess, a mother, looking more like Danny Glover. For £3.50 I came to discover she was selling 6 pairs of her child's pants, WWE related, gold plated, X-rated. I snapped them up in a dash, smoother than the funk on a flash, more forceful than Demolition Smash, more hardcore than Cousin Crash. Money sent, money spent, pink goes my phone, blood from a stone, time to let out a grunt and a groan. I thank you for your order, you do know these pants have been used, right? Oh wow, Apollo Creed, at times I almost thought indeed, could I really give to Mr. Reed, or shall I pass on to James Mead? My response to such a question came quick, came faster than being chased by a stick with dog shit.
Sorry.
My reply to such a question came fast with no hesitation. Even better was what I said. Now, I could see the message had been read, but a reply I waited on was never said. Pants arrived without a fuss, looking good as they should. Now I don't know if pants had been cleaned or even sprayed down with Mr. Sheen. I don't care to have a sniff or even have a tasty whiff. So that's the story of Santa's secret. Boom, I'm out of here.
Mate,
That was awesome.
that was really good, man. That was good.
Oh, dear.
Fair play, man. Fair play.
Do we end the podcast there?
Well,
First part?
I kind of announced that the wrestling's going to be done on part 2 a little while ago, and then we discussed off here about carrying on. So up to you guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Should we just
Boom.
end it there?
Yeah, I think that should be the end of part 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we should kick off with trivia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stay tuned for part 2.